Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling, right? Assignments, exams, projects, it all just piles up until you feel like you're completely buried. Well, today, we're building your academic survival guide. We're going to get you out from under all that.
So let's jump right in. I want to talk about a powerful framework I like to call academic triage. Think of it as your secret weapon for sorting through the chaos. It's all about moving you from that crisis mode back into a place where you are in control of your time and, ultimately, your success.
But hey, before we can treat the problem, we've got to diagnose it, right? You need to know what you're up against. Is this just stress, or has it crossed the line into full-blown burnout? Because believe me, knowing the difference is absolutely the first critical step.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. Think about it like this. Stress is all about over-engagement. It's like you're on a treadmill that's going way too fast. You feel overwhelmed, but you're still running. You're still in the race. Your emotions are cranked up to 11. But burnout, that's the total opposite. That's disengagement. Your battery is just completely dead. You're not even on the treadmill anymore. You're just sitting on the floor, feeling empty, detached. It's the huge difference between feeling too much and feeling, well, nothing at all.
Okay, so now that we know what we're dealing with, let's open up your academic first aid kit. In any emergency, what's the first thing you do? You stop the bleeding. For us, in an academic crisis, that means we have to prioritize, and I mean ruthlessly. We need a system to figure out what actually matters, right here, right now.
And the main tool we're going to use for this is called the Eisenhower Matrix. Now, this thing is a game changer. It's a super simple but brilliant way to sort your entire to-do list into 4 clean categories. And it all comes down to asking 2 simple questions for every task. Is it urgent and is it important? Let's break it down. All right, first up, we've got the do quadrant. This is the red alert zone. These are literally the fires you have to put out right this second. That paper that's due in like 2 hours, the midterm that's tomorrow morning, yeah, those go here. These are full-blown emergencies, and they get your immediate 100% focus, no debate.
Okay, next up is the schedule quadrant. Now, listen up, because this is where your real, long-term success gets built. These are the things that are super important for your future, but they're not yelling for your attention just yet. This is all about being proactive, right? So you schedule 2 hours every Tuesday to work on your thesis outline, or you block out Sunday afternoons for your portfolio. The key thing here is, if you don't actually put it on the calendar, it's just not going to happen.
Now, the delegate quadrant, this one is tricky. These are the tasks that feel urgent because, your phone is buzzing and people are asking for things, but are they actually important for your goals? That never-ending group chat debate about what font to use on the project? A meeting you got invited to just in case? You've got to learn to politely say no or see if a teammate can handle it. Your focus is precious. You got to protect.
And last but not least, my absolute favorite, the delete zone. This is the black hole for all the stuff that just wastes your time. You know what I'm talking about. Reorganizing your desktop icons for the 10th time. Endlessly scrolling social media for inspiration. Just delete it. Get rid of it. These things feel productive, but trust me, they're just procrastination wearing a clever little costume. Be ruthless. Okay, so the immediate fire is out. Now it's time to build your catch-up plan. This is our strategy for tackling that backlog of work piece by piece to get you back on solid ground. And look, the recovery plan is a super simple 3-step process. First, assess the backlog. Get every single thing you're behind on out of your head and onto a list. Then prioritize it. Not by what's easiest, but by what's worth the most to your final grade. Step 2, and this one is so important, communicate. Seriously, talk to your professors. They're usually way more willing to help than you think. And finally, step 3, execute with a plan. Break those huge assignments down into tiny, manageable chunks and schedule them out.
And when you do talk to your professor, this right here is a golden script. Check out the wording. You're not saying, hey, I need an extension. You're saying, I'm concerned about being able to complete this in a way that reflects my best work. See the difference? It completely reframes the conversation. It's not about you being behind, it's about your commitment to quality. It's so much more professional, respectful, and honestly, way more likely to work. All right, let's talk about building some long-term immunity. Because once we get you caught up, the goal is to never get that overwhelmed again, right? And that all starts with studying smarter, not just harder or for longer hours. And this image, this explains everything. This is called the forgetting curve, and it's basically proof that cramming is a terrible strategy. Look at how quickly your memory of new information just drops off a cliff if you don't actively review it. We're talking days. The whole secret to real learning is finding ways to interrupt this curve. Okay, if you take one thing away from this section, let it be this. Most of us, and I was guilty of this too, spend hours in what science calls low-utility study methods. Rereading, highlighting. It feels like you're doing something, right? But it's totally passive. It gives you this false sense of, oh yeah, I know this. The real magic happens with high-utility techniques. Things like active recall. That means quizzing yourself using flashcards. It forces your brain to pull the information out. And spaced repetition, which is just reviewing stuff right before you forget it. That is what locks it into your long-term memory. It's the difference between just recognizing something and actually knowing it.
Okay, the final piece of the puzzle for building that immunity, winning the war against distraction. Because let's be real, even the best study methods on the planet are useless if you can't focus for more than 5 minutes. So, let's talk about mastering your focus.
And a fantastic tool for this is the Pomodoro technique. It sounds fancy, but it's an incredibly simple and powerful way to sharpen your concentration. The whole idea is to break your work down into these short, focused sprints. It's amazing for preventing that mental burnout and just keeping you locked in.
And look how simple the process is. You just pick one task. You set a timer for 25 minutes, and for those 25 minutes, that is your entire universe. No phone, no new tabs, no distractions. When that timer goes off, you get a 5-minute break. You do 4 of these little cycles, these Pomodoros, and then you get a real break, like 15, maybe 30 minutes, to actually reset your brain. That's it. That's the whole system.
And listen, those 5-minute breaks are crucial, but they're not for jumping on social media or checking your email. That just keeps your brain spinning. The point is to actually disconnect. Get up, stretch, grab a glass of water, listen to one song. It kind of turns your work into a game, and the break is your little reward. It honestly makes the whole process way more enjoyable.
Okay, one last little bonus tip for you. This is going to help stop those small tasks from piling up into a huge mess. It's called the 2-minute rule. It's simple. If a new task comes up and you know it'll take less than 2 minutes, just do it. Right then. Don't write it down, don't put it off, just get it done. It's a tiny change that makes a huge difference.
So as we wrap this up, the big takeaway is this. Getting out from under that feeling of academic overwhelm isn't about just working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about building better systems, better habits that are actually going to support you for the long haul. So the real question I have for you is, what's one small habit you'll change today?